What's up, y'all? This is Brave, and I'm back with another review of Basketball Wives. This is season 12, episode 2, and the episode is titled Win, Lose, or Brawl. Let's go ahead and get right into this episode. So, first things first. We see this montage of what everybody got going on. Who really cares? Oh, but I will point out, Brittany in that purple look, baby, it was eating down. She is killing it with the modest looks. I love that for her. Now, we did see Evelyn and Brittany working out. I guess they're trying to build their friendship over. We also saw Brandy talk to her mom. Her mom looks so young and very pretty. Of course, she's talking about Jason. Girl, we're tired of hearing about him. Okay? And we also saw Jackie invite Jennifer and Ming out so they can go hiking, right? Cool. Okay, first real scene that we get is basically Evelyn meeting up with Brandy, right? And for Evelyn, she feels like Christian is basically warping Jennifer's mind and he's in control and he is leading her. But where the hell is he taking her, baby? We don't know. Here's the thing. When it comes to this Jennifer situation, Evelyn, I get it. You may not want Jennifer to be done dirty again because we've already seen this pattern multiple times at this point. But also, it's given you don't have nothing else going on in your life. Like, can we just get a season with Evelyn actually having a storyline at some point and not always meddling in other people's shit? I'm just saying. Like, could we at least have gotten somebody else be the person to meddle in Jennifer's mess besides Evelyn? Now, the whole point of these two even meeting up was so Brandy could meet Ty. Yes, Ty Young, the same one who used to date Mimi Faust. And I believe there was rumors that she had something going on with Drew Sidora. Do we know what really happened with that? We don't. But Ty is here. You know, we learned that she played in the NBA for the WNBA. She played in the WNBA for 13 years, she said. And then now she's a coach. Which, shout out to her, because I will say, for the WNBA, I have seen more former players become coaches versus the NBA. A lot of time, the NBA players versus them becoming coaches, that hardly happens. But good for her. Now, of course, her relationship comes up, and according to Ty, everything's kind of complicated because one minute they were together and then they weren't. Okay, they were planning to have a whole life together, but clearly things didn't work out. My question is, did it actually not work out, or was this just y'all's storyline? Because I find it mighty convenient that y'all decided to break up right before joining the show. Yeah, okay. And another thing, I thought that they were together for longer than 9 months. Maybe I got my wires crossed, but I for sure thought that Ming and Ty were together for 2-3 years. Clearly, I was wrong. Nonetheless, here's the thing. What pissed me off in this whole conversation, Brandy. Ty asks her, "Oh, what's your situation?" She's like, "Oh, it's complicated." And then proceeds to be like, "Well, my husband, he's cheated on me." That should have been the period. My husband cheated on me, period. No, she went on. This bitch put a comma. My husband cheated on me, and it was with about 50 different women, and I can't seem to let it go. Brandy, please go away from us with this story because you've been telling it for 10 years. Okay? It's been 10 years of you going back and forth with this man. We're exhausted. We want you to find something else to do besides this. Now, moving on from that situation, we have Jackie. She is waiting for Jennifer and Ming to show up. Y'all, why is she snacking on chips? And I mean munching and crunching on these chips before she's going on a hike. I said, Jackie, that is so on brand for you. So on brand. So Ming shows up, right? And they talk about Friendsgiving. And basically, she was blindsided, okay? She thought this was going to be a nice little Friendsgiving. But baby, welcome to Basketball Wives, where the ladies are always with the shenanigans. And she's like, I showed up with Jennifer, but she left me. Oh my gosh. I said, Jennifer, you could have at least been like, Ming, let's go. Get in the car, Ming. We're leaving. But nonetheless, Jackie, she basically feels like at the end of the day, Jennifer's gonna ride for her man. And she ain't lying. So Jackie goes on to tell her a little bit about herself. She's like, I've been married for 30 years. I think it's 30 years. Yeah, 30 years. I have 3 children. My daughter, Shani, she's the only one who's gotten married. And actually, she eloped. So they run it back to when Shani was telling Jackie that she got engaged. And Jackie was so excited. Y'all remember, Jackie was super excited to be like, oh, we're going to plan this wedding and all the things, right? And I'm not even going to hold y'all. In the grand scheme of things, Jackie may actually be a decent wedding planner. Here's the reason why. She's literally done 30 weddings. Like, are we forgetting that? Jackie has done a variety of weddings because her and Doug get married every year. Girl, your mama might have been able to pull something off. But for some reason, we learned that Shani actually eloped. So my question here is, Shani, why don't you fuck with your family? And also, you be having so much smoke for your mama. Do you got that same smoke for your daddy? That's my question. Because the same way that you be acting like your mama was MIA because she had to go, follow Doug around, that nigga was playing in different cities every fucking day. So my question is, do you give him the same smoke that you give your mother? Please tell me that you do. Like, I don't know. It's something about Shani, y'all. Chantel is off. I can't tell what it is just yet, but I know that she's off. Nonetheless, Jackie is like, okay, so where is Jennifer at? Because we were all supposed to be doing this hike together. They FaceTime her. Who is sitting right next to her, y'all? Christian. Baby, one thing about that man, he is going to be right up on Jennifer every single time, okay? And I get it. Couples are like that. There are some couples that are like always all over each other in a sense of the one person can't go pee without the other one being there. But Christian, school back. And then on top of that, Jennifer is like, the reason why I'm not there is because I'm still upset. I didn't like the way they came at Christian and all this stuff. And Christian said how he's upset and that, they're trying to paint him out to be a villain. So now he wants to have a meeting with Jackie. Negro, what the fuck you need to meet with Jackie for? Like, I'm just trying to understand. Like, do you think that if you go plead your case with each one of the ladies that they're going to start believing you? I doubt it. All right, now moving on, we actually see Jackie and her daughter. They're at a photo shoot for Noah. He is such a cute little boy. Shani's son is adorable. And she does want to get him into modeling. However, she's basically upset that Jackie is here. And we literally see the photographer is trying to take pictures of the baby, right? And Jackie is just like excited. And she's like, oh my gosh, look how cute his face is. And, just saying things. Honestly, she's being a typical grandmother. What do we see? Chantel over there rolling her eyes. So Jackie's over there trying to take pictures of Chantel holding the baby. She's really annoyed. And she's like, Mom, you got to stop because the photographer is the one who's going to be taking the pictures. We don't need yours. And Jackie's like, no, these are my pictures. Here's my thing. I get it, Chantel. This is your baby. You want things to go your way for sure. Because at this point, you are the parent. But in this situation, I honestly don't feel like Jackie is doing that much that is like so overbearing. Had she been the person that's like telling the photographer, no, you need to get this angle and you need to do this, that, another, then I would be like, you know what, Jackie, you are really overstepping. But to me, she's just being a grandmother. And honestly, a lot of grandmothers, they love candid photos. What Jackie is doing is taking candid photos. Actually, candid photos is a lost art because we don't even do that shit no more. We are so posy and everything got to be so perfect that, baby, we don't have just random photos anymore and being like, oh my gosh, look at these two people. I'm telling y'all, years from now, we are going to regret not having candid photos. Mark my words. All right, now moving on, we see Brandy. She basically lets us know that she told Jennifer that she is not going to get in the middle of this mess with her husband because when things were going down for her, Jennifer stayed out of it. All right, cool. She meets with her best friend who is a web designer, and I guess he's going to like fix her website up. But baby, Brandy, why is your business called Max Seal's Kitchen? Once you realize you was going to leave that man, it should have been Brandy's Kitchen. Like, girl, why are you holding on to the name? Move on, please. So she goes on to talk about how her marriage was a struggle. I stopped listening. And when it comes to her, she says that she's focused on her business. Now, according to her, her book, I guess, is already out. And now she's going to be focusing on seasonings. Y'all, I really feel like seasonings is the new wig bundles for the social media girls and socialites and reality stars. How many of y'all need to be making seasonings? We got Sierra Glam Shop seasonings. We got Prima Donna seasonings. Now we got Brandy Max Seal seasonings. All right, so in the next scene, we have Ty and Ming. They're meeting up for lunch or dinner. And I will say, Ming, you looked really nice. And baby, you was about to bust some things wide open because literally on Housewives of Atlanta, it was very taboo to talk about Drew and her possibility of dating Ty. Well. We get to this show and Ming's like, yeah, because you kept calling Drew. I was like, oh, let's go ahead and put her on blast then. So basically, Ming feels like she had already told Ty all of her triggers, all of her things that have happened in past relationships. And for Ty to do them, that was kind of like the ultimate betrayal. Because basically, Ty was getting real close to Drew Sidora. And to the point where she was on the phone with her for hours upon hours. And Ty is trying to explain that, she wasn't cheating on her. She didn't want nobody else. But Ming is like, well, girl, what was y'all talking about? Because for you to be on the phone with somebody for 3,000 minutes, yeah, you're going to have to explain something, baby. Now, according to Ty, she's like, no, I was just a listening ear for Drew. Nothing was going on. Ming thinks it was an emotional relationship, but it wasn't. Yeah, okay, girl. But then she decides to flip it and tell us about the fact that Ming had some guy that she knows who hit her up saying, let's go on vacation together. Baby, this whole situation is a mess because Ming was lying about if she slept in a room with the man or not. And some type of way this conversation is concluding by them trying to figure out if they want to move in together. A mess. This is absolutely a mess. All right, so next we see Chantel, y'all. Chantel is going to get on my fucking nerves this entire season. I can already feel it in my spirit that she is going to piss me off. She ends up calling her brother, right? And she's bitching about her mother and how Jackie was doing too much and all of this stuff. And it's just like, girl, please. Then she goes on to kind of complain about the fact that, the Friendsgiving went left. And now she's concluding that to this whole, when my mother threw that event. As if it was her fault that Evelyn decided to bust that shit wide open with Christian and Jennifer. Like, your mother had no control over that. Why the fuck do you think that when you throw an event for the group, everyone's going to be all kumbaya? Like, I'm telling y'all, the way this girl cannot stand her mama, it's bothering me. Because, baby, without your mother, you wouldn't even have this opportunity. So be so for real about yourself. And then for her to go on and on about her boundaries, girl, we do not care. Moving on, we are in the next scene, and Jackie ends up meeting up with Christian and Jennifer. Now, here's the thing. Jackie feels like, listen, if you saying that you didn't do this stuff, then you have the right to go ahead and, defend yourself. And here's the thing, y'all. That man whipped out his phone and basically had some text messages between him and Kiki. Evelyn baby daddy Carl cousin Kiki. Yeah, that one. And his whole point was, listen, yes, she put in $1,500, but the $1,500 was just my personal fee. She had to invest in her own money into the program, right? Or her accounts. Okay, so what I'm gathering from this is that, of course, you have to pay him his fee because he's teaching you how to do the day trading. But when they were asking her to use Bitcoin, it was so she can have her own account set up in Bitcoin and use her money to, do the trades. Now, with these text messages, though, it's like a clear disconnect where they were cool with each other, and then out of nowhere, Kiki brings up basketball wives. And I'm like, wait a second, what is happening here? What is the disconnect? And also, what is she talking about? Now, he did receive a text message saying that she wanted a refund. And he's like, yes. Does she deserve a refund? Yes. But she could have hit me up about this months ago. And I can't lie, y'all. When the man brought the receipts, I said, well, he is kind of making some sense. Now, Jennifer is really pissed off about this whole situation, okay? Because y'all know she feels like Evelyn keeps coming for her, and she needs to mind her business when it comes to this situation. And baby, when Jennifer said she keeps going on about how Christian was a felon, but he did his time and, that's over. However, you keep trying to tell me about my man. Well, your daughter had a baby by a felon. Y'all, I was like, well, come on, Jennifer. Call it like you see it. Now, we already know Evelyn about to go blow a gasket and flip a table because you talking about my daughter. Can't nobody come for my daughter because Shanice, that's my daughter. It's going to give all of that. I can already feel it. All right, so in the next scene, we have Brandy having a phone call with Jason. And baby, what did I do? Fast forward. I'm not interested. Moving on. So in the next scene, we actually see Evelyn. She's meeting up with Ming and Chantel. And honestly, I feel like we can already see that Chantel is drinking the Evelyn Kool-Aid. I just get that vibe off of her. But nonetheless, Ming brings up the fact that she talked to Jackie and Jackie kind of told her some of Chantel's business. And I'm like, did she really? Because the only thing she said was that you're married and that you got eloped. That is not anything that is groundbreaking. So once Chantel finds this out, she is offended because of course she has to keep her boundaries, and her mother would have never been planning her wedding. I'm just like, oh, okay, girl. So Ming decides to tell them about what her and Jackie spoke to Christian and Jennifer about. And here's my whole thing. Ming, you cannot sit up here and be like, oh, I'm Switzerland. I don't want to be in the drama. I'm trying to get to know everybody. When you literally know that Jennifer felt some type of way after the Friendsgiving and the way that Evelyn acted. You already know that Jennifer felt some type of way. So why did you bring that back to Evelyn? Because, baby, you are stirring the pot. Baby, when I tell y'all Evelyn's true colors definitely came out in this scene, because of course she's feeling some type of way, but at the same time she's like, because Jennifer and Christian, they're not even married. I looked it up and there's no marriage license, and that bitch can kiss my ass. And I'm just like, girl, you're acting like Jennifer attacked you when no, it's the reverse. You've been attacking her husband. I ain't trying to say that you're jealous, but I do feel like maybe you're feeling some type of way Like, how dare she get married before I do? And if we want to be honest, the only thing that Jennifer did was pull a Yandy and Mendices. Because y'all remember when Yandy and Mendices said that they didn't get married because she didn't want to have to pay his restitution? Didn't we learn last season that he had a bunch of money that he owed the government in restitution? Hell, if I was Jennifer, I wouldn't want to pay that shit either. All right, so we actually get to Chantel's event, right? And basically she took them to the American Ninja Warrior obstacle course. And to my surprise, everyone showed up. I'm just like, oh, okay. Maybe production was like, Jennifer, you gotta come. You can't keep missing work. So they basically do an obstacle course, and they were in two separate teams to see who will win. So first we had Jackie versus Chantel, and Jackie won. Shout out to her. The next group was Ty and Ming. And we already know Ty definitely was going to win against Ming. I mean, she tried to wait for her, but come on now. And then the third group was Brittany's friend Denise. And she was against Jennifer. Y'all, Jennifer was breathing heavy. And she had barely started. I said, what is going on here? Girl, why are you winded already? So she ended up losing. And next thing you know, Evelyn comes up and she beats Jen. Jennifer finally finishes. And then Brittany, she ends up doing the, race with no competition. But I'm with Brittany. They should have put her first because she seemed very athletic. Now here comes the mess, you guys. Everybody sits down, they eat, and Jackie has to be the one to stir the pot, okay? She feels like, listen, as a group, they have some things that they need to talk about. Chantel over there catching attitude because she feels like this ain't the time or the place. Chantel, you signed up for Basketball Wives. Stop acting like you are above the bullshit. You have to be a part of the bullshit for this show to thrive. Please cut it out. So she over there twitching in her seat, Chantel is, because her mom is, getting the shit started. But Jackie has me laughing because Jackie said, yeah, I think there's some things that have been said after the Friendsgiving. And, Jennifer, do you want to talk about that? And Jennifer's like, well, what part are you trying to talk about? And she's like, the felony part. I said, now, Jackie, you not going to bring up the fact that Christian had those text messages proving that Kiki was doing too much? No, we want to jump right to the felony part? All right, cool. So, baby, Jennifer stood 10 toes on it, okay? She's like, listen, you keep saying that my man is a felon, but your daughter has a baby by a felon. And every time we have this conversation, you keep mentioning how he is a felon. And, that's not even relevant to the situation. So, here goes Evelyn. She is going on about how, well, the difference here is that your felon, he's still committing crimes. Bitch, are you crazy? Because let's not forget that The Game had a case not too long ago that accused him of being inappropriate. And I think, did he rape somebody? Yeah. I think your shit may be a little bit worse. Because let's not forget that he still owes that woman that money. Which is why he just fucking sold his house, or at least put it up for sale recently, because he has to pay that girl who was on that dating show that he had back in the day. I'm sorry, but Evelyn, you do sound crazy trying to boast and brag on the fact that your daughter has a baby by the rapper The Game. Girl, sit down somewhere. So then here we go with cause my daughter, me and my daughter, I raised my daughter, you ain't got no kids cause I got me a daughter. Girl, shut up. For her to be like, you're not gonna be able to walk the streets of LA if you keep talking about my daughter. Girl, according to who? Who's gonna do something about it? I really need for Evelyn to chill out. Because at the end of the day, you are wrong in this situation. And on top of that, you're over here getting mad because Jennifer is calling you out on your shit. Well, no, it's just that you need to mind your business. Okay? Especially considering you don't even have any business to mind. because you ain't got shit going on, Evelyn. But y'all, that was the episode. Let me know what y'all thought about it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. And I will talk to y'all in my next review. Bye, guys.